How's everybody's bucket list going?
It's going. It's coming and going.
Going well, going gone, going what? Everybody tell me one unique thing on your bucket list. Angie, you start. I can hear you.
Okay. Rank silver with doTERRA.
Okay, awesome.
Kind of my first goal.
Okay.
So.
Give me something else that's just like fun and like
Okay. A new house with a basement for my teenagers or soon to be.
Okay. All right, awesome. Okay, Leah, you unmute yourself while Lisa talks.
Taking my mom on vacation.
Say again.
Taking my mom on vacation.
Taking your mom. I don't know why you got back feed. I'm not sure. I don't know if there's a speaker on your computer and a speaker. My mom on vacation. Awesome. Okay. Perfect. Wow. I got back feed. Oh, it's Leah's. That's why. I don't know why. How weird. Okay. Leah, I'm not going to talk, then there won't be back feed. Okay, go ahead. You tell me what's fun on your bucket list. Leah sent me 6 pictures, was it, of her list?
Maybe. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is the feedback better?
If I'm not talking.
Okay, good. Yeah, so one of the things that I want to do on my bucket list is I want to spend a couple of weeks over Christmas one year with my family and my husband's family in a snowy cabin in like Montana in the middle of nowhere, just kind of stuck and playing games and reading books and watching movies and having a great time.
Awesome. Yep, there's that feedback. Sorry. Whoops. Okay, Danya, what's on your bucket list, girlfriend? Where's your beautiful face? There we go.
Sorry. I had to use my phone today. I want to be able to get on my feet so I can do some good things with my kids. I'd love to take a vacation with them.
Awesome. Fantastic. Any place you want to go specific?
I want to go to the Oregon coast again, but that would be a small bucket list item. Someday I'd like to go back to Europe.
Oh, awesome. Love Europe. Very cool. Okay, and Linda, what's on your bucket list, girlfriend?
I would like to go to Czechoslovakia because that's where my grandpa came from when he was 2 years old.
Wow.
I'm going to go find relatives over there. I'm sure I have relatives there somewhere.
Awesome.
That'd be fun.
Very cool. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Eastern Europe. Cool. Leah again. Of 2 Leahs. Okay, awesome. Double the fun. You got a twin, Leah. Okay. So how did that feel to do your bucket list? Did it give you any more motivation, any more excitement, any more energy? What did it do for you? Angie, what did your bucket list do for you?
You know, it kind of made me realize that I don't allow myself to really want and dream too much. I really was like, it was hard. I only have 20. And my question is, do I combine what I would like to do as a family versus personal? Like, is that what you're wanting? Just kind of everything?
You can put anything you want on there, but if you notice on this sheet that I gave you, it's in your packet. One of the things we'll do next, and I'm trying to remember, I think I may have forgotten to actually put it in the workbook. You have your personal bucket list, and then the next list is going to be your family goals. It's an amazing activity to do goals as a family, and I'll give you some ideas on how to do that. One of my favorite things is called dream sketching. Everybody gets a big white piece of paper, kind of like the 12 by 12 cardstock, your scrapbook paper. And my favorite's colored pencils versus markers or crayons because it's just You don't worry about mistakes as much. With colored pencils, people can kind of loosen up a little bit. And everybody puts goals on there as a family. And I have had over and over and over people tell me they learn stuff about their husbands they didn't expect. They learn things about their kids they didn't realize. And I do this every year with my kids, and I still learn something with my kids every year. So some people kind of, I can't believe I didn't know that. And it's like, no, it's okay. I learned stuff too. Don't worry. I mean, you're a bad parent or anything like that. So you can have goals of things you want to provide for your family, but then you need to eventually do a family goal setting session together. And if you have teenagers, you are going to get the deer in the headlight look to a certain extent. Like, well, I'm too cool for this, and I'm not really going to tell you what I think. But if you keep doing it, it finally comes out what they really want. Okay. And so there's not a right or wrong. There's not a specific answer to what you asked me is what I'm saying. Okay. But I do want you really think about experiences you want to have. Okay. It's not just things.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, I had this goal. I wanted to do an international dinner group. Okay. I've lived in Denmark and I love to talk about travel and I love to talk about other countries and other cultures and I kind of think we're kind of language snobs as Americans. Okay. So it's just this little thing in me that not everybody knows about. And I really want to have this international dinner group. So I found 6 other couples who had all lived in different countries for different reasons at one time or another. One was Argentina, one lived in England and in like Saudi Arabia or something like that. One, the husband was from Germany, another one. Anyway, we had people from all different walks of life. One gal, she's from England, but she teaches my daughter French. We just had a whole variety of different situations. Okay. And it was so fun. And it wasn't a thing and it didn't really cost money, but it was on my bucket list and I made it happen. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be a dream car and all these material things and Donald Trump kind of thinking. Okay. It doesn't, if you want to do that, that's fine too. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just saying fill your life full of experiences and don't have any regrets. Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Last spring, I had this little feather up my, I wanted to take my kids to the coast and want to fly kites on the beach. I just wanted to fly kites on the beach. I don't know why, where it came from. And they had these really cool kites at Costco. They were like $12 and they're still in good shape. And we went to the coast for a couple days during spring break and the weather was beautiful and it was awesome. And there was one day like we couldn't even fly kites because there wasn't actually wind. Okay. So it's not necessarily big things. They can be. Dream as big as you want to dream. Okay. But put stuff down. Just keep adding to it. This is a perpetual list that you keep adding to. Is everybody kind of getting that? Okay. Any questions about that? Any other questions? Who's feeling like Angie does? Lisa, okay. Lisa's very practical. She's not gonna we just ask for what we want. One of the things that's incredibly important, okay? So if you're a faith, Bible believing kind of person, if you're not, forgive me, but it says asking you shall receive. It doesn't say think about it and kind of like maybe think about it and maybe you'll get it. It says asking you shall receive. You have to write it down. You have to say it out loud. You have to tell somebody. You have to say a prayer about it, okay? And more stuff happens the more you put down. Do you really think God made this big, beautiful world for us just not to see any of it or have any experiences or not impact each other and learn about each other's cultures or those kind of things? Okay. It's there for you to learn from and experience. Okay. So put stuff down and make your life as wonderful as you want it to be. Put stuff down that, like I'm a very change the world person. And if you follow me on Facebook, Angie and I just become friends, so she probably doesn't know about this as much as some of my other friends do, but I'm really big into fighting against human trafficking, especially sex trafficking of young girls, and porn addictions, because that's why men go look for young girls, is because there's porn addictions, okay? So those are two things that I'll talk occasionally about on Facebook. I try to limit it, because if you put too much on there, people start tuning you out. But those are two things that will always be on my bucket list that I'll be fighting against. Okay? It's not a thing. It's not a, dream house, but it's something I'm going to work on. Okay? So does that help you kind of spark more things you could put on your list? Okay. So Lisa, what's on your list and how are you feeling about it?
I'm with Angie. I only have about 20 items because it was stressing me out.
Stressing you out.
It was stressing me out to sit there and think about it. Just trying to balance the practical and the dream big. I think I just didn't allow myself to dream.
Okay. How does it feel when you start dreaming?
I feel guilty.
Guilty. Okay. All right. So think about that for a minute. You feel guilty about dreaming big and you feel guilty about wanting things. What's the likelihood of you getting to your goals in your business? Okay. It's really important. I like how self-aware you are, Lisa. That's really, really important. Okay. To be self-aware is it's very helpful. And this is where, when you realize that, you can stop, you can slow down, and you can say, okay, is this reasonable? Should I really feel guilty about this? Okay. Because if you have someone that you start talking to on your team who wants to dream big and wants to go big with their company, how well are you going to be able to help them if you don't believe you are entitled to earn it? Did you guys get that?
I have something that kind of goes along with that, but in business, you work hard for what you get.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's like, yeah, I'm putting the work in. I will receive it because I'm earning it. But you see what I'm saying?
But you'll think it's selfish to take the time to do it. You'll think it's selfish for somebody to pay and you benefit. You'll think it's selfish. It will carry over.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I do that too, so.
Yep. Okay. Yes, it's logical that you're putting in the work, but you'll think, why should I get paid more than somebody else who's putting in hard work too?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Do you think Donald Trump has any guilt about the hard work he puts in? Do you believe Donald Trump works hard? Or is there any question on that?
No.
You know he runs on about 4 hours of sleep. I don't know how much coffee or whatever.
Hard.
I mean, do you know he wouldn't be, whether you believe in his ethics or not, okay, that's just a whole nother topic. But, or his marital situation or whatever. But do you think he worked hard to get to where he is?
I think he did, yeah.
Definitely.
Or like Bill Gates? I don't know. Who's somebody who is wealthy that you do have respect for if it's not Donald Trump?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that if he spent a ton of time feeling guilty about being successful and making money, would he be able to help as many people as he has? Would you have the products that you have now for your computers if you love it? Maybe you're a Mac person, you hate what he makes. But, do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Mm-hmm. If he decided to feel guilty about that, could he have helped as many people?
No.
Mm-mm. Okay. This is something that, to be that self-aware, is incredibly powerful, because you can stop and you can have a realistic and logical conversation with yourself. Okay. And Linda, this might be a little bit of where you might be coming from too. She knows what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yep, totally.
You have to know that if you don't benefit, you're going to believe somebody else can't benefit, and you cannot recruit and you cannot help somebody else get to where they want to be if you don't believe you deserve it yourself. Do you guys get what I mean? Like, sometimes you have to like take something someone says and like kind of let it sit in your heart and think about it. If you don't believe you deserve it, how are you going to help somebody else deserve the same thing?
Yep.
Okay. If you choose to work smart, to work hard, to work effective, to be big in your company, to make a lot of money, whatever it is, you have to decide that you got there because you worked hard for it. Okay. Now, if you remember from last class, we talked about the difference between changing the world, motivation, and money and titles, right? Okay. Now, Bill Gates, as he's giving away this money to these educational programs, do you think he's feeling guilty about how much money he makes based on the work he puts in? No, right? He's probably, I'm so glad that I made these sacrifices and went for it because now I can help somebody else. Yeah. So if your motivation is to change the world and that you're going to spend that money to change things, like I could never have as much money as I make. I could never have a house like Bill Gates. It just wouldn't, I probably just wouldn't totally be comfortable in it. And there's things like that. You don't have to want the same things as somebody that has a certain amount of money. But when's the last time you heard a story? Everybody hears these, this person lives in kind of a modest house and never changes up their car, and they kind of drive the same car, and and yet they have a ton of money in their bank account. Okay? You don't have to give the impression of being wealthy to be okay with being wealthy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can be successful and you can choose where you're going to put those dollars or those opportunities or that influence or whatever it is that ends up coming with your success. You can decide where you're going to put it towards. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So Lisa, tell me about your thoughts. You're very internal. You don't show as much on your face as some other people. Tell me what you're thinking as I explain this to you.
I'm trying to reprogram my brain to process all of this, I guess. I think when I started the bucket list, it was, the first thing that came up was all the materialistic things that were very obvious. But then I felt guilty, like, why would I need a bigger anything when there's people that don't have anything? So I'm like, I need no more materialistic things. Let's move on to something else.
Right.
So it's like, well, if we want to go here and experience this and this trip, it's like, well, I can't do it without, the family and my mom to thank her for everything that she's done. So then it kind of grows from there, and it goes, leads into more of the family goals, I don't know. It was a really stressful assignment.
It's so cute. Okay. Are you getting, though, how you can want success and it'd be really cool because if it benefits your mom and you? How exciting is that? Does that thing on your bucket list, does that cause more stress or excitement?
When I think about it, it's more excitement.
More excitement. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, but there's this piece of you that kind of feels, is the word selfish or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what have you been told about being selfish?
Put others first.
Others first. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the funny thing about this whole thing is that you're going to learn as you go is that in sales, and Linda and I have talked about this for months now, when you put everybody else first in your business will grow. Okay? This is what's exciting. It's not that you don't think about your goals, and it's not that, but when I'm going to teach you today about how to ask questions, okay? And when you can not worry about if the person that you're talking to, let's say it's a new person you meet in Target, if you can literally not worry about whether or not they become a customer, if they buy it, you take the time to get to know them. And then if they do need something that you have, like all of you, does anybody, no, you all sell different things. Missy's not even on here. You all have totally different things to offer, okay? But you all believe in what you sell and what it gives people, right? Hopefully, okay? It's kind of important. When you realize that focusing on someone else gets you more of what you want, it's this like, it's like this amazing, exciting shift that happens. Okay, if I'm 100% focused on help me find those who need this message, help me find those who need this training, help me find those who need this opportunity, who need this to go to their next goal and their next level, it's much easier to get on the phone. Okay, we'll talk about getting on the phone. Who hates the phone? Who wishes the phone didn't have to exist? Okay, we're all human, right? Okay, but being able to get on the phone because you're focused on somebody else makes a huge difference. You are going to feel authentic by this whole process. And this is a process. This is a journey. It's not a destination, okay? You're going to learn that having your own goals and focusing on what other people want, it all finally comes all full circle, comes back around, Lisa. Okay? You've got to know what you want, though, to get out of your comfort zone. You've got to want to take your mom on that trip bad enough that when I tell you to do something that's a little different, it actually, you'll feel more authentic and you'll like how you feel better, is what I find 99% of the time. But it's still different, okay? Because most of the time, people who are in sales talk at people and infomercial and just vomit sale on people, and I'm not going to let you do that, okay? I'm going to make you ask questions. I'm going to make you listen. I'm going to make you then, okay, because you said this is something that might benefit you, okay? I'm not going to let you do that, well, hopefully, and that's what I'm going to teach you anyway. And you're going to feel more authentic, and all of a sudden your goals are happening too, and it's this win-win-win-win situation. Does that make sense? Okay, but you have to ask for what you want so that you have a reason to do these things outside the box. And Lisa, it's okay if you're a change the world person and your biggest reason is to stay home with your girls and take your mom on a trip, okay? But I want you to keep adding to that list. And it's just because they're experiences and it's this life. You know, God didn't put us on desert islands for us not to experience anything or talk to anyone or, you know, touch people in some way in our lives. Okay? I had one gal, she was so cute. Let me plug in my computer. Hang on. Okay. I had one gal who was uber frugal and responsible. And she had this goal. She really wanted to go to India. She goes, I don't know why I want to go to India. It's not necessary. Not really important in life. There's this thing that says I want to go to India, but I just can't bring myself to write it down. And I said, but, okay, so let's consider maybe there's something in India that God wants you to learn. Maybe there's somebody you're supposed to meet. Maybe there's something you're supposed to do different. What if there's a reason you're supposed to go to India? What if God put that on your heart because it's something that He wants you to do and experience? Okay? You see what I'm saying? Like, don't throw those things out. It might be there for a reason. Okay? Do you see what I'm saying? Allow those things to come up in your heart. Okay? Is everybody try with me on that? Okay? The other thing is, it's really important to understand is that if you're not working on your goals, there's somebody else who can't accomplish theirs. And that usually is the biggest turner for all of you, is when you realize that when you can shift your mind, and I'm going to give you tools to do it appropriately, that if I don't share this opportunity with somebody, whether it's your product or your business opportunity, if I don't share this with them and they needed it, and they find out later I had something that would have helped them, I'm going to feel really bad about it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to not tell people I could help them with their business. If they're telling me they're struggling, they can still tell me no and say it's not the right time and the right place, or maybe I'm not the right trainer for them or the right coach, and that's okay if they go find somebody else. I mean, I got lots of people in the world. It's no big deal. It's not worth taking things personal. But if I don't encourage them to get some help because I want to see them be successful, it's one of those things, like, I just can't do that. I can't not help if there's some way I can help. Does that, at least offer it? Okay. But I'm going to teach you questions to ask so that you offer it appropriately, because we've all had that situation where we hear a problem and then we start telling them all about the things that we can do to help them, and they kind of go like this. And that's why we all like quit telling people about what we can do, because we hate that body language and they go like that, right? We've all had that happen, right? We go, oh, okay. And when we get to the Finding New Customers class, it's going to help. But today's class, just on asking questions in general, this is going to help you start to avoid that. Okay? And I can tell you, my friend Linda, that's part of what's slowing her down. That's why she's literally taking this class again, because she hasn't quite got over that, oh no, they might do this. Okay? But it takes everybody a different amount of time. Some of you can go really fast, and others you can take time. Hi, buddy. Want to see what mom's doing? I have lots of kids that have to say hi. That's okay. How's it going? That's what's great. We get to be home and be moms, okay? All right. So let's get into this class. Are you all getting, I just want you to get, you're not going to get over it today, but I want you to start getting over that hump of asking for what you want and what you need and dreaming big. And when something comes in your heart, oh, I really want to have this experience, start being okay with it. And ask God, is this something that I'm supposed to have sometime soon? And you understand, it's a bucket list. A bucket list is everything you're going to do before you die. Lisa, you got 80 or more years, girl, okay? Okay? You don't have to do it tomorrow. Have a long list. Kids will go. Mom will die before you. Okay? You can keep doing stuff for a long time. So keep adding to this list. All right? Okay? So keep working on that. Who did their tracker this week? Who has points to report? Okay. All right. The tracker is something that takes everybody a week or two to like get into. But it's
I'm getting mine printed off, and I have my tracker, but it's on one of those big sheets downstairs, so I don't have my points yet.
That's okay. Okay. This tracker, you need to email me by tonight what's going to go on it. It must go next to your bed. Okay? If it's the last thing you see before you go to sleep and the first thing you see when you get up, you're much more likely to do it, and you got to check it off at night. Okay? I know it's not fun to have it next to your bed, sort of, but until you're in the habit of doing it, that's where it's got to go, because that's the only place that it'll register you to do it. I don't care if the box, you don't do it. I just need you to check it off every day.
Do you want us to email that every day?
You are welcome to text me at 1 a.m. You can text me every single day and tell me you checked it off. Okay? I don't care what time it is. Most of the time, neither the vibrate or the volume is on my phone, because I can't be interrupted during homeschool and classes and when I'm sleeping. So I get back to you when I see it, my phone light up. Okay? You can text me every single day and tell me you did it until you get into that habit. Habits incredibly important, because it's the forming of habits that will make you successful in your business. You couple your habits with the tools I'm going to give you, big things happen. That's the whole focus, okay? So Angie, I'd love to hear from you every day. Send me a quick text, girlfriend, okay? Okay, any of you can do that. Text me when you've got your tracker done. Okay. So let's get on to questions, because we're running out of time here. Is everybody kind of getting that goals thing? Is still uncomfortable, but are you a little less comfortable than you were 30 minutes ago? Okay. It'll get more and more and more and more. Okay. They'll keep growing. And I believe in setting goals every 30 days. So this is far from your first activity for setting goals. It's going to happen several more times. Okay. So learn to love it, because it's going to get more fun. Okay. So we are going to talk about asking questions. One of the things that's so important, oh, here it is. Okay, let me talk about this first. I just realized it was on this thing. Okay, family goal setting is one of the most powerful things that you can do in this whole class. And let me tell you why. I get an enormous amount of feedback from people after this activity, probably more than any other activity. I have people sit down with whether you have children or spouses, or even if you were single and you have a best friend, okay? But you've got to do a little family goal setting. And this is what happens is that you will learn things about the other person and about yourself that you never knew until now. And every time people do this, it is this opening up of a relationship, and really cool things happen. Now, this is the way I suggest you do it. Go to your craft store, get your 12 by 12 scrapbook paper that's cardstock. I like it when it's a little thicker than just your normal paper, and I like it when it's a little bigger than your 8.5 by 11. It's just my 2 cents. Do it however you want, but that's what I suggest. I'm a big believer in colored pencils. Markers are too committed. Crayons doesn't get what you want. There's something about colored pencils where you can sketch and have fun. I cannot draw a stick figure. When I say I have no artistic ability, I am not kidding, okay? Like zero. My brother, he's an artist, he's a graphic designer, blah, 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 computer animator. I do not understand how we came out of the same gene pool because I have no artistic ability. If I can do this activity, you can do it. There's nobody who hates art more than me. Absolutely nobody, okay? Now, people tell me that I'm creative and crafty, and I laugh. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can put a hair bow together or whatever. But I am not artistic, okay? Zip. I don't get it. I don't like it. It doesn't relax me. I don't enjoy it. I think it's crazy. Those who love it, all the more power to you. But this activity, what you're going to do is you're going to write your goals out on one side of the paper. You're going to write them as if they've already happened. For my kids, I have read Harry Potter. I have hit a home run. I am silver elite with doTERRA. I am. Okay, you got to say it as if it's already happened. And if you're very logical, you're just going to have to roll with me because you're going to feel like it's a big fat lie, but you got to do it anyway, okay? I am this. I literally had someone who said, and it was cleaning out a storage shed. I'm like, I want you to say, I have that storage shed cleaned out. And I thought she was going to have a nervous breakdown. It's a lie! I'm like, no, it's not. Just put it down. And she couldn't do it. I thought, it was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Okay, everybody's at different levels. You got to put down it's already happened because your subconscious doesn't know any better, and it does everything it can to move you towards that. And it's a really powerful lesson to teach your kids and your husbands, okay? So I am doing, the word will sneaks in there. That's future tense. Bam, got to cut it out, okay? No wills. No future tense. It's got to be I am doing. It's got to be in the present tense. You flip it over. You get your colored pencils out. And you draw it symbolistically. It can be anything. So I was doing this with the swim team one day, and I was looking over at my son's pictures, and I was looking at the other kids' pictures, and most of them have like Olympic rings, and one has like a little timer, and it had a time they wanted for a certain swim, and there's different stuff. And my son has this picture, and there's this guy with this long hair, and his arms are stretched out. You can't see him, not far enough back. His arms stretched out, and then there's this plane coming towards it, and I'm thinking kamikaze running into this guy. I'm like, Porter, and it's supposed to be, they were all swim goals. Okay, couldn't figure out what he was doing. I'm like, who's the Jesus looking dude in the airplane, and what are you doing? He's like, he's teen, right? So he rolled his eyes. Mom, it's me flying into Rio to the Olympics. Like, I'm an idiot, okay? Because Rio is 2016, and it was the big Jesus statue, from the movie Rio. And he's flying in, seeing the statue. It kind of looked like the plane was going to run into the statue. So it can be symbolistic. It can be, what am I going to see when I'm there? It doesn't have to he didn't draw a picture of a swimming pool and him taking first. He drew a picture of him getting to Rio. Does that make sense? So the more you can have a vision of what that goal looks like, you doing it, the better. Everybody's different what they put down, but the pictures can be symbolistic. They don't have to be pictures of you doing the action. Does that make sense? Okay, you got to loosen up and just go with it. Lisa, you're going to love me when it's over, but I know the thought of it's going to about kill you, okay? But it's okay. And this is the difference between your more creative variety person and your more consistent, by the book person. And it's okay. But if you'll do it, your heart will open up and you'll be able to use both sides of you. It uses both the left and right side of your brain when you do this activity, and it's really powerful what happens. But do this as a family this week. In your first page here, you can add some of your family's goals into the second column, and it helps to keep you going and motivated with what the things that you want to accomplish, okay? Because when you know what your kids want to accomplish, like, I don't know if everybody knows, my son's a big triathlete. He wants to do a half Ironman this summer. He's only 15. If he had his way, he would do a full Ironman, but his coach won't let him train for that. But it's really important that when you understand other people's goals, that might give you some more motivation, because some of you are going, but I care more about my family's goals than mine. So use that as a motivation. Figure out what their goals are. Okay, make sense? Okay, so do this. It's called dream sketching. It's really fun. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're doing it with a husband or kids or friend or whoever your buddy is. Do it with somebody. Do it with your mom, Lisa. It'll be fun to see what your mom wants to do, okay? Kind of cool. All right, let's get to the questions. We're going to go over this several times, so even though we won't have a ton of time to cover it today, I promise you we will go over this many times, just like goal setting. So you have 3 pages of question starters, question prompts. Okay? This is what will change your business. When I learned to start asking questions instead of just talking at people, my first business was scrapbooking supplies. When I learned to quit only talking about how cute the watermelon paper was and how you just all want watermelon paper because your kids are going to eat watermelon in the summer, you got to take those cute watermelon pictures. Okay, that's one way to sell it, right? Okay. But when I changed it and I said, okay, ladies, if you picked 3 memories you wanted to have preserved, that, if for some reason you were zapped off the face of the earth, or your memory was zapped, or for some reason you can only preserve 3 memories, what 3 memories do you want to make sure you have preserved? So I'd have somebody, a trip to the coast, and somebody's a family reunion, and somebody was the birth, or, we had these different memories going on. And then I helped them find the supplies exactly for those memories. Everybody quit going home with watermelon paper. They went home with the paper they wanted. And people went, wow, you're so fun and you're not pushy at all, which I've been known for being bold. I don't know if I was a pushy salesman, but I was I can tell you 16 reasons to buy something and finally find one you wanted. But when I changed this to focusing 100% on what they needed, my sales doubled, and I was told I was nicer. Anybody up for that? Double your sales and told you're nicer? Now y'all are probably less bold than I was, period. But do you understand? It's an incredible experience to be more true to yourself and increase your sales. Everybody up for that kind of experience? It's fun. It's way fun, okay? So you've got all these question prompts. So I want you to look at these question prompts. We have 15 more minutes. Okay. I want to hear 3 questions from each of you based on your product with these question prompts, okay? The first 3 sections, the positive question, the revealing needs questions, I just want you to start with those first 3 sections. So let me explain to you the positive question and how the positive question works and why this one's really, really powerful, okay? There's something that I'm a big believer in, is that people like to be around positive people, okay? How many of you have that friend who you care about her or him and you really want them to be happy, but they just kind of have a tendency to either be negative or complain a lot, or kind of always see the cup half empty, or the world's kind of always out to get them, but they're just not like the most positive energy? Anybody know people like that? And you love them, but boy, it'd be nice if they had a little more positive going on, okay? Or the other thing is, if we have friends that are gossipers and always complain about somebody else, we kind of wonder what they're saying about us when we're not around, okay? So there's this thing back here in the back of our head that goes, we like it when people are positive. We just kind of trust them more, okay? So the interesting thing is salespeople, to be really good salespeople and be authentic at the same time, it's really important that you find out what people's needs are, which a need is usually a lack, which is usually kind of go on the negative side of your positive negative scale of conversations. Okay. So it's like, okay, if I'm asking a positive question, how am I going to find out the negative thing? So this is what happens. So a couple of you have things that have to do with health. Okay. If I was to ask somebody, tell me one thing about your health that you're really positive about, or you feel like you're being really proactive about. Tell me one thing about your health that you're really happy about, the things that you're being proactive with and doing right now. Now, somebody might say, oh, I make sure I get my fruits and vegetables in, or I make sure I drink my water, or I'm exercising every day. But how many of you doubt that they'll tell you that positive thing and then they'll go, oh, but I'm so frustrated. I still just cannot seem to break my cookie habit or my chocolate habit, or I don't understand why I'm not exercising, or boy, this just kind of feels crummy, or my knee hurts, or my back hurts, or, okay, you get to start out positive. They tell you the one good thing, and there's a good chance they're going to go down that slope into telling you all the other things they don't like. Okay? Lisa does cosmetics. Think about this. You guys are all going to laugh. If I asked all of you, tell me the one facial feature that you love most about yourself. Tell me what your facial feature is that you want to accentuate and love most about yourself. Like, I can tell you my lips and my eyes. Okay, I have these voluptuous lips and I like my green eyes. Okay, if you could tell me, but what's the likelihood is like you would tell Lisa that one thing and you go, oh, but I really wish this was different, or I really wish my skin was smoother, or I really wish, blah, 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 blah. Okay, if you actually could tell her the one positive thing, which I really hope you can, because some women can't, would you be very likely to go down that slope and start telling her the things you want to change? Yeah. You guys get what I'm saying? Would that happen? Okay. So when you ask the positive question, you get to be the positive person, and that person's just going to go right down that slope for you and tell you what they need. Okay? But you still get to be the positive one. So it's really cool. Now, if they do only tell you the positive thing, because sometimes there's products that doesn't bring it up quite as fast, this is where the revealing needs comes in. What you want to do is you want to minimize it as much as possible. So my health people, let's say you're talking to someone that you see could lose a little bit of weight, okay, or maybe they need to lose a lot of weight. If you say, you know what, if you could, and this is really important, the word you use, because it still comes off a little bit positive, if you could improve one area of your health. Now you could say what's one problem you have in your health. But if you say, what's one area you'd like to improve? Because it moves towards this, let's find a solution kind of mindset versus, ooh, I just have a problem and I'm going to dwell on it. Okay. If there's one part of your health that you can improve, what would that one area be? So what it does is it minimizes it. What it makes it sound like is that we don't really assume they have a whole lot of problems, but if they had one little one, what would it be? How many of you have ever had a family member or a girlfriend who was venting about something? Maybe it was finances, or maybe it was, I don't know, cleaning their house or something. And you heard about a solution and you went to them and you go, hey, you know what? I heard about this really cool thing and I was wondering if this would be something you'd be interested in. And all of a sudden they minimize their problem. Oh, no, it's not really that bad. It's not really that big a deal. I'm not that worried about it. And you're thinking, I listened to you vent about this for an hour. You made it sound really, really big. And then all of a sudden you bring it up and they just squash it and they make it sound like it wasn't that big a deal. Have you guys ever had that experience with somebody? Okay. It's because people are okay with venting about their own stuff, but they don't like it when somebody else brings it up. Okay. So if we say, what's your biggest health problem that you're discouraged about versus, hey, what's that one thing you'd love to improve on? Can you feel the difference in that question? Are you getting that? Okay. So starting with the positive question, then if it doesn't come up really clear what kind of situations that they would like to improve on, all of you that I've talked to, and I hope it's just, most of you I ask you, hey, what's your one strength with your business? And if there's any one area you'd love to learn a little bit more in, or you'd like to be more consistent in, what would that one area be? Okay. I use it myself because I know most of the time people are doing a ton right. They just have to make a few little tweaks that can make a big difference. Okay. Every area can use this, every business, because everybody's trying to do something right, but usually there's still something that they want to improve on, right? Is that pretty human? But we have to act like, we have to let them be the one that vent. You know, obviously none of you would do this, but some of us kind of go, hey girl, I'm seeing you got about 50 pounds on the back side of you that you probably wish wasn't there. We can't say that, right? We have to go about it a little differently. We have to let them bring it up, okay? So finding those questions. So look at those prompts, and everybody's going to give me a couple examples of questions that they're going to use, okay? This can be used when you're meeting somebody in the grocery store. It can be used when you're doing a booth. It can be used in if you're teaching classes or doing parties. It can be used in one-on-ones. These questions are going to become your best friend. These questions are going to be tight, and you're going to be able to accomplish really cool things, okay? So, if you're in a line at the grocery store, and you're standing behind somebody, let's say they're either buying a weight loss product or they're buying cosmetics. Hey, tell me what you like about that product. It's important to know what's important to them and why they're getting something, so that then you can tell them how your product matches that and has a little bit more. It's really important that you know why they like what they're doing so far. Okay, so there's one prompt. What kind of research have you done on different things? What are your strengths? All those kind of positive questions. Okay, so you're thinking, are you getting a couple written down? The juice is flowing. The other question that really reveals a lot, and this is a really fun, powerful one. It's really tempting to ask somebody, hey, do you like this? Do you like to do this? Is this something that you're involved in? And we get a yes, no, or good, or fine, or not really. And we're like, okay, how intense is that not really? Or how intense is that good? Or how intense? Okay, like we're kind of like, we still don't know a whole lot of information. So one of my favorite questions to ask is on a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like to do this? On a scale of 1 to 10, so I could ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable was everybody doing their bucket list? And I know some of you are going to be like 5. Some are going to be like, it was really fun. It was an 8, 10. Some of you are going to all be different, okay? And that'll help me better understand. And all of you could have said fine or good, but some of you are going to be a 10 and some of you are going to be a 5, and it still was the word good. So asking on a scale of 1 to 10, if, so like doTERRA, for example, asking somebody on a scale of 1 to 10 how interested people are in being using preventative medicines or using alternatives to over-the-counter medications. On a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you in finding out something different or seeing if there's something different? And someone can say good, like, I obviously someone who wears my heart on my sleeve. Okay, you're going to know if I'm sad, you're going to know if I'm happy, you're going to know if I'm mad. My best friend, you will laugh, she's a pure introvert. Like, her excited is this, and this for me is upset. Okay, like it's so hard for me to read, and I finally figured out when she's like, I have something I want to tell you, that's like her excited, because it's nowhere close to my excited. Okay, that if you don't choose to like use things like scale of 1 to 10 or tell me more about that or how are you feeling, you got people like me and you've got introverts that if you think you can read body language, which we can to some extent, but you cannot rely on that 100%. You've got to get a little more information out of people, or maybe I'm just not very good at reading introverts. Maybe you guys are better at it than I am. But an introvert can really mess you up if you're someone who's outgoing like me. That kind of makes sense? Okay, so the scale of 1 to 10 can do a lot for you. Okay, so who has a couple questions ready? Leah, you want to start?
Who?
Leah.
Yeah, okay.
Can you hear me, girl? You mute yourself? Or do you want me to do it? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I switched devices and I'm all messed up.
You're totally fine.
So for the It Works wrap, I would say, tell me what you believe your number one body attribute is, like your body part.
Mm-hmm.
Not body part without literally saying body part.
Sometimes you can say which part of your body instead of body part. Which area of your body? Would that work better?
Yeah. The other ones I have is like, what's your favorite attribute about your skin? Because
Okay.
you have the amazing skincare line that I really like to talk about a lot. And then tell me about the number one thing you're doing currently to improve your health. Or would that be my follow-up question?
It kind of depends on how the conversation's going, what you've already found out about them so far.
Okay.
So keep going. You're doing good.
So those are the three that I kind of wrote down to begin with.
Perfect. Okay, great. Okay, who's next? Do you have some questions, Angie?
I actually have been doing this ever since you and I met that first time.
Awesome.
Really, really helped with the opening awkwardness that I feel.
Mm-hmm.
To just kind of take charge and let things kind of settle in the beginning of whatever my interaction is. And what I've been saying is, I'm trying to put a positive spin on it, because what I was saying is, what's one health concern that you would love to change?
Cool.
And the interesting
Welcome
thing
to the webinar. You have entered as an attendee in listen-only mode.
And Wendy from New York, Sandy from Tampa, Brian
Sorry,
from
give me
Iowa.
2
We got
seconds.
Sherry in Chicago, Sonia from Cincinnati, Deborah from Fresno.
Okay. So what are some of the questions you've been using?
So what I mean, I need to put a more positive spin on that, shouldn't I? Because I jump right into talking about their health issues.
It depends on how you ask it. Tell me how you asked it again.
What's one health concern that you have that you would love to change for you or a family member?
No, that's great. I would just say, what's one health concern you'd like to improve?
Oh, okay. Improve. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
And then it's interesting because you're right. All the females will jump right in about a family member.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wasn't including family members in the discussion in the beginning, so that has helped.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, how about you, Lisa? You're muted.
On my drawing slip, what is your favorite facial feature is on there. And then in addition to that, what is one makeup product you would like to change? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy you are with your makeup products, or on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is naturally based products? Because not many people know that Younique is naturally based.
Okay. So on your makeup one, what's one you'd like to change? I would ask, what's a makeup technique you'd like to know more about? Changing it makes it sound like we're assuming that they're doing something that's not attractive or something not right. Or as if you say, what's one makeup technique you'd like to learn more about? Okay, Linda, I know you have lots of questions. Danya, how about you?
The question I usually first ask is, tell me a little bit about your health goals. And then sometimes I go into, a lot of times people will say,
Welcome to the webinar. You have entered us and attendee in listen-only mode.
something wrong, you know.
Yes. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Awesome.
Sorry,
So let's go ahead and get the screen switched over to you. Are you ready for me to push the screen to you?
I totally am, and I do want to give a shout out to Reverend Michael Steele. He just sent a really sweet message saying that he's a result of years of great work, and
Okay, Don, you tell me that one more time.
Okay, so I usually have been asking tell me a little bit about your health goals.
Okay.
And then I'll also ask afterwards, maybe I'll say something about what things have you tried so far, just to kind of try to get an idea of what they've been doing.
That's a really good question. And then just follow it up with, and tell me a little bit about how well that's worked. Because they may tell you, but sometimes they don't tell you if it was a good or bad experience.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So ladies, work on those questions some more. Was there anyone else that needed to kind of brainstorm with me about questions they had? I want to see 10 questions. Okay. Make sure you have 10 questions and you've sent those to me as soon as possible so that we can continue to tweak them. Okay. The sooner that you have 10 questions you can utilize really well, the sooner your sales go increase. Does that make sense? Okay. So work and work and work on those questions and utilize them. I love, Angie, how like you got it. How you're already feeling that. Yeah. Just every time you can use the word improve one thing, you minimize it and you go towards the proactive versus just what's one thing you hate and it sucks and it's, you know, like it needs to always be about moving forward and about finding a solution so it feels hopeful and it doesn't feel like we're just venting and assuming there's something wrong with what they do. Yeah. Okay. Keep working on your bucket list. Do your family goal setting activity and do your questions and amazing things. You guys are all getting set up for really cool things to happen. Awesome. Okay. All right. Any questions? Anything I can do for you? Okay. You ladies all have an amazing week and we will see you next week.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
Text me at night. Let me know you're doing your tracker. Let me hear what you by today what your tracker are.
Okay.
Ciao.